especially now, I'm like 42. I'm gonna be 43 this year, and then I just found out I'm the oldest UFC fighter on the roster right now. So like,
Hmm.
my main concern now when I'm going into fights is just make sure my body feels great, and my body feels amazing right now.
I was gonna say, I was gonna drop that news to you, but you already found out. When you found that out, is it like a badge of honor? Are you like, God damn it, how these goddamn whippersnappers keep trying to come out? What were you feeling when you're like, I'm the oldest fighter on this roster of like 700 fighters?
I mean, kind of cool, honestly. It makes me feel good that I'm like this old, still doing it right, still being a gunslinger around here. But on the
Mm.
other end of it, I'm like, fuck, man, what am I doing with my life, man? I'm still living like I'm in high school. I'm just like fighting, smoking weed, and playing video games. You know what I mean? Like, this is like my life still. The fuck am I doing?
Oh man, that's how I feel whenever I like do a long stint on my Switch. I'm like, I'm not even playing an adult video game. This thing is made for children, and sitting here, 40 years old and living like
Well,
a child.
it's a hell of an
I
accomplishment,
know,
Vince, because
same.
because normally the oldest fighter in the UFC is like a heavyweight, right? A weight class, a light heavyweight, just like a pure grappler. Like you can fight longer when you're
Yeah.
Randy Couture, Damian Maya, or when you're a heavyweight and everyone else you're fighting like that. To be a lightweight, the deepest and best division in the UFC, and still be the oldest fighter in the UFC, like that's fighting at 41 or 42 in the UFC is like fighting at 50 at heavyweight.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts, honestly. But the way I see it is I've been fighting my whole life, even before fighting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I was kind of forced to become a fighter, just because of my life situation, the way I grew up and stuff. So it's honestly really nothing new to me. Like, I'm sure after I'm done even professionally competing, I'll still be in the gym fighting, right? Still heading it to these young bucks in the gym, letting them know that the old dogs are still dangerous. But the crazy part is like I don't really know how to explain it, man. I think I just got lucky with the genes with my parents, and
Mm.
I just feel young, right? Like my body's not hurt. I don't have any like reoccurring injuries or like things that really like hold me back. That which a lot of other fighters do. Like I know a lot of fighters don't talk about it, but there's a lot of fighters that have. I don't want to say disabilities, right? But they have like limits to what they could do now because of just the damage they've taken over the time. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job of taking care of my body, and I haven't really taken too much damage as far as like striking, like getting knocked out and stuff, right? Like I've been knocked out a couple times. I think only once fighting, but a few times outside of fighting. But I've always like taken the time to recover and take care of myself. I've never pushed myself past that red line, right, where it's just like failures coming in now, So I think that plays a big part of why I'm so capable and able to still do this and compete. And like when I'm in the gym, like you don't know the difference between me and the 20-year-olds that are in there. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's actually like it just makes me feel good that I can still do this shit. Honestly,
Nice.
Go ahead.
Does that give you confidence having the younger guys in the gym? Because I know there was a couple points when I was like mid 30s, and I'm like, everyone coming in is so much younger than me. They get excited about this new flash in the pan, and then you get to spar these people, and you're like, oh, I still got it. Like, does that give you a lot of confidence having these young guys who are beating everyone up, and you're able to still kind of smack them around?
oh yeah, my satisfaction is them coming in with that chip on their shoulder, and then they have to deal with me, and then watching that chip turn to shit. That makes me so happy. It's actually it's a really good rewarding feeling to know that I can go in there and guys who are competing at like the highest level, especially like the top 10 guys, I'm in there and I could wear those dudes out and take them out a lot of times, right? Like especially in training, and in training we're not really trying to kill each other, but
Right.
I'm still out there proving that, like, what I mean, you can't fuck with me if I don't want to be fucked with, and that's a really good feeling.
No, it is, especially because you have some people who think fighters should be retired by the age of 35, or just there's this wall that we go down. There's a downside, but I honestly do feel like if your body is good, you have a huge advantage just because you have so many hours of like fighting, of
Yeah.
training and all that. Like it's so easy to school people when
Yep.
you have the strength to do it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And sometimes really fun because I'll be going with the younger guy, those upper comers, and the guys who are tougher, fighting bigger fights. Like sometimes, but mostly, usually bigger fights than me. and then I'm catching them with just the dumbest little shit and yeah, I just giggle sometimes, like when we're like, especially when we're grappling or something, because I'm a black belt, I'm a good grappler. I haven't showed it too much in my fights because I'd rather shut someone's lights off, but it just makes me giggle sometimes when I just catch you with the stupidest shit or like just things that like over the years of training that I've developed, right, that no one even knows about, like my own little techniques, right, that aren't really like a technique that are taught in classes, but things that I've just realized that work for me, right, and catching people with shit like that and reversing people and switches and stuff like that are just like, I don't know, it just makes me giggle. I think it's really funny, and then I give a little pep talk after. I'm like, I pat him on the back. Don't worry, little fella. One day you'll be able to get me, just not today.
Well, you're still kicking, you're still fighting well. So now that we're trying to push you into retirement, but at 42, like, have you thought how many more fights you do want to have? How much longer you want to go? Have you thought about that? Have you made hard plans in that direction?
I haven't honestly made any hard plans, and to be honest, I'm not the kind of planning person who makes those hard plans. I'm just a leaf in the wind, man, and my body feels good, and I'm still fighting good. I'm in the gym, I'm good, and so when I feel like admittedly, I will say that I have slowed down a little bit, right, from how I used to fight. I used to be just like totally in your fucking face, and now I'm a little more technical about it, and a little more calculated with the way I approach fights. But I definitely still have so much more in the gas tank, and this motor's ready to go still. You know what I mean? You know what I
Mm.
tell people is I'm just like an old muscle car. Like when I'm cold, I don't run so well, but once I'm warmed up, you better watch the fuck out because I'm gonna blow your doors.